what are you expecting on this one? Because there's a lot to be said about this. I think most of it will sit favorably with Epsilon. I don't think there's much disputing that. But on the other hand, what can Endpoint do here?
Well, from their perspective at least, you sort of have to talk about the idea that maybe like rotational-wise, like as a team, like communication, they are going to have the advantage because you have to sort of look at from Epsilon's perspective, and they always have like those sort of communication issues where you talk about their team and you say, okay, maybe things aren't going to be working too well for them. Maybe things aren't going to be going in that right sort of direction because they are that sort of mixed team.
Yeah, we can see obviously a lot of what defines Inferno here. The banana control being an ample point that was brought up by the desk, of course. Knife round going on as we speak, so we'll find out who starts where. But some of my points that I want to look at is what Epsilon can do on that CT side. That's the exciting thing to me. I want to see some sort of creativity, a lot of CT aggression, a lot of proving their point almost, just, you know, getting in their face, pushing down mid. I want to see aggression from Smooya as well, and versatility. That's another factor, and right now it was Epsilon to win the knife, so they get to choose which side they start on. Now, if you're feeling cocky, if you're feeling like you want to get in their faces, all right, maybe start on that T side. I very unlikely, especially on Inferno, but it'd be quite a fun little remark to start on.
Yeah, I think the thing from them as well, like you mentioned sort of Smooya on that aggressive AWP, I want to see that sort of idea of Smooya going aggressive like JW, the almost JW level of just going into those apartments, looking for those picks, basically just being an absolute nuisance. I think like individually they are the more talented side, there's no doubt about that. On the T side we do get players such as like Freddie B who can just pick apart a site on his own and then like switch into lurk roles. I think that's something that tactically at least Maeve has been doing very well out, just seems to catch up players in sort of positions where they don't want to be. Like the rest of the team would be going somewhere and Maeve would just be like, I'm gonna just hide here. Almost in a sort of happy style, which if it doesn't work it's horrible, but when it does, it just looks magnificent.
They're starting on the T side. I'm happy. I'm happy. Here we go. Let's see what you got, Epsilon. Let's see why this is your map. At Endpoint, it's all on you. This is their game to prove us wrong on, and I'd love to see it. I want to see a big performance across the board. I think Imi's got great potential. Obviously, Pickles as well. Very much a fan of him as of late, and we're seeing a very default start. Endpoint, incredibly passive as well. No early little bit of a look towards Banana either. And this is pretty standard from Epsilon. Leave the bomb back by spawn, get some control towards Apps. They can fall off this, hit B if they want, try and catch any aggression off Banana. No one's actually going for that though.
I'm interested by the CTs as well. Like they're not going for any sort of aggression. They're just playing back all the way towards the site. Not really peeking anything. The closest player is probably Arch at the moment. And already, well, with that sort of control, they managed to take it. The rotation can actually go back in behind and flank around towards this B site, which is just going to be absolutely horrific for the remaining CT players over towards A, who are sort of just sat back. They're waiting in case they do still go towards the site. But you can just see the build-up coming in at the moment from the T side as the rotation will come in from behind from Barber. They have gone a little bit early, though. I would have liked to see them wait, and somehow the CT side are actually holding this down really well. Freddie B and Barber now trying to hold on to a round which looked like it should have been theirs, but Barber on the pistols. It is what he seems to do best, and it is going to be back into this 3v2.
Yeah, Barber trying to make the difference. All surrounded. How are they doing this, though? This is a little sloppy from Endpoint.
How?
And I don't know how you lose those situations. They had such an upper hand. They were actually able to do so much and then just let it slip.
Yeah, I'm sort of... That round was just ridiculous. Like, I don't know how it goes so one way then so back the other way. Like a 4v2 over on the site, you sort of look at it and go, okay, this has to be Endpoint's round, even after the wrap comes in. And then you go back to it and you just see, what, Freddie B and Barber on those pistols just pick each player apart, and you have to wonder if they're going to be kicking themselves. I like the HEs, though. They've invested a lot into these nades, and already it's netted them an initial kill.
Yep. So far, Endpoint still trying to make a bit of a fight out of B. 3 players there. Maeve and Cosmine sent to deal with that. Nice little dink comes through, but it doesn't particularly do too much. Maeve's the only one who's got to be a little worried here. You don't want to lose out. But again, they are only the UMPs, so it's not the end of the world.
The other thing to mention is that Endpoint actually haven't invested much into this at all. They're saving all their money on their CT side. Of course, it's not like the T side where you can get a bomb plant and wait yourself around and then come back in with those sort of AKs in the next. They won't have anything in the next round either, unless they go for a very risky sort of FAMAS buy, which I'm not really expecting to see. It means that they are just going to have all that utility, and for me at least, that is one of the most important things when you're sat on this CT side of Inferno. You want to have those nades for Banana, you want to be able to deep smoke, and you basically want to make sure that you can stop the T's just taking so much control. As we've already seen from Epsilon so far, in the pistol round, they're up Banana within the first 20 seconds of the round.
There's 3 alive. Hopefully they do recover the rifle. Can't see that right now as we're staring lovingly into Charlie Pickle's eyes. And yeah, let's see if they did. I'm not sure if they did recover the AK. I think they did. Gonna drop that one back over towards Barbar.
More nades.
Yeah, you might as well get a little bit. They've done a fair bit of damage and not particularly impacting the overall money. No one's buying too low. About 2.5 is the lowest we've got currently. And decent utility on Epsilon, and I hope to see that utilized. I don't want to see them kind of go down needlessly or get caught off guard. That's what the mollies are there for. It's your safety net, right? So a little bit of a play down Banana coming in from Endpoint, and so far it's been met with sheer force. No real surprises, just good positioning, nice approach, and a clean round for Epsilon. Good for what they need, really, more than anything. Smooya did have the Mac 10, unable to get much with it, but maybe you can start looking for an AWP down the line.
I like the change from Epsilon, where they just sort of, they slow down a little bit and they go, you know what, they threw all those HEs last round. Let's just wait for 10 seconds. Let's see if they throw them all again.
Yep.
They took no damage, then just run in and slaughter all the remaining players. So, as you said, decent amount of money made, but this is where all that saved cash comes in for Endpoint. They have a lot of utility. They AWP onto IMI as well, which is going to be very important when it comes to this Banana control. And they've actually sent 3 players early, but look how quick the T's are moving. They're straight into IMI. Already gets himself the first, but it's a trade. Leaving it onto Mighty Max, and he goes down to Cosmine as well.
Yeah, and Epsilon are just running into this. They're not really backing away at all. You can see they just want to run over the players. Now they have been slowed down finally. Good initial impact. The rotate's there for Endpoint as well. You've still got Jest coming over. But now, the T side, the problem is at this point, they've still got utility and they've got a 3v3. So you know it kind of sits favorably to them because they can just hit a site together. And sadly for Endpoint, they don't know which site that's going to be. So it's a bit of a gamble here. You can see, I think that's going to be Cryptix trying to float between the sites to get which one's going to be the correct one. He's going to try and commit towards B, but that's not quite where Epsilon are eyeing up. Now, it'll be given away pretty soon, I can imagine, with the mollies and smokes raining in, but they're going in pretty dry right now. They're not giving away too much. They're not putting too much utility in. There is a one player who can change this all. If they do eventually hit towards A, it's going to be Charlie Pickles who has to stop it, or they could wrap through spawn. Plenty of options left.
You can see Epsilon pretty much have all of the cards at the moment, especially if they go rotating round. Pickles is going to be left in a horrible predicament, as he'll have absolutely no information until the point they're right on him. There we go. He actually peeks out and spots Barber. That gives him something, but he goes down without a frag. That needed to be a kill to give his teammates a chance in this rotation. Now you have to wonder, is it really worth fighting this? There may even be an AWP on the floor unless Smooya actually stole that earlier, in which case that means they can just save onto their rifles and at least try and do something in the next round.
Yeah, Smooya, I think, got that one off of IMI, so again, good little pickup for him. 2 rifles saved over for Epsilon as well outside of that, and then obviously Endpoint keeping theirs close to chest. And you can't really blame them. They kind of need this. Their money's not going to be in a great position. There's no chance of a real fight here. I doubt they're going to be able to chase that far. And you can see, for now, all quiet on the faces. Not much of a response. It's still very early in the game, of course. Not much to be seen. It was the first rifle round, sure, but again, it's a long old game. And we're just seeing a really nice approach there in the end from Epsilon.
Yeah, not throwing anything too complicated yet though. Just a straight rush up towards their B site. Take the fight early on. They win the initial fight, although it's a 2-for-2 trade. You have to say that when you're on the T side, as we saw, they can just split apart one of these sites, and well, in the end, it doesn't seem to matter too much. It's actually going to be an investment here from the CT side, although IMI, of course, wanting to get that AWP, will just go for a deagle in this round, but the rest of the team actually gets some UMPs. Not a whole lot of utility, so it is going to make things difficult, actually slowing down these pushes, and you can already see Cosmine after last round. He gets 2, peeking up the edge of Banana, and he's going to do the same again. Already so much map control taken, and the rest of the team are just going to be waiting, expecting aggression in this round based off the fact that we know they don't have a full buy from Endpoint. And so the rest, as you can see, are just watching.
Yeah. Cosmine starting to test out. And they're just trying to draw away the utility. There's very limited amounts on Endpoint. So if they get that away, Smooya, come on, mate. It's still early. Still got 50 seconds to go, but you can see the Endpoint are holding onto their utility as best they can. It's a matter of patience, and it's quite hard, it seems, for Epsilon to retain that.
Yeah, we are going to have 3 players around this A site. Imi seemingly waiting for that rotation. The bomb's all the way still back in spawn, so just waiting for the picks to come in before they actually make their move. Can be quite risky. There are still 2 rifles and a couple of UMPs in play as well, so still a chance here. With 30 seconds left on the clock, the bomb still has not moved. It's going to have to be picked up. Eventually, Maeve is going to go running for it as they do look to take onto this A side. But if a couple of kills go back the other way, could be a problem. But again, they've got this arch control. They're going to go wrapping. The fight comes in. Already it's left down to just Jesp on the site. He does have a rifle. There's only 10 seconds left. But again, he goes down within seconds. The bomb will be planted, and the remaining 2 players are left to try and do what damage they can. Imi, no armor, peeks in, and Smooya will take that kill all day long. And Pickle's just trying to juggle that rifle out.
Yeah, trying to keep hold of it as best he can and get away. I doubt he's going to be... They could chase this down, I guess, but again, you don't want to lose that AWP on Smooya. And the thing is, with Epsilon, that was a lovely late-in-the-game B hit, so kind of surprising they're able to pull it off so smoothly. But again, if they're just landing shots, if they're feeling confident that they can go for these late-in-the-round plays, then it's going to happen. It's going to be quite consistent. And considering the Endpoint then, they held on to their utility. They did well, but they were still working with less than they needed to handle even, you know, an even round. So it's going to be tricky for them even in the future to try and control this. It seems I've got to say, I want to see Endpoint in a full buy again. Once that happens, we can kind of look at their options. Because, you know, I guess if you talk to a lot of players about this one as well, it always come down to it's all about money, this map, especially on CT side. If you get that utility, if you get mollies, if you get nades, you can actually control the map. Then you can start fighting back. Then you can start taking over the real estate. Otherwise, you're always going to be playing this kind of catch-up game. You're never going to get the full information. You won't get any control across the map. So for them, starting point for Endpoint is getting that money beside them. They've got a decent enough purchase here, and this is going to be a timeout. I can imagine for them, or at least I'd hope so they can address some of these issues, whether it be, okay, let's try and get a bit of banana control going. But then again, if you're Epsilon, you'll probably keep that in mind. You'll probably start considering that. So do they change it up then, you know, on that round coming back into it, you go, all right, screw it, let's just do something completely different to throw them off, you know, get rid of that money, because it's a rocky road now for that CT side. If their money's, you know, really hindered and going back up and down and they're losing these rounds quite, I guess, one-sidedly, you know, it's not exactly close rounds. It's going to be pretty tough for them to recover. So hopefully they've come up with a decent theory as to how they can approach this and the things they need to adjust going forward. Yeah,
I think first and foremost, I want to see some sort of challenger banana. I think the way that they've been playing it so far has basically just meant Cosmine is already posted up. They have the whole portion of the map without any challenge at all. And one of the things I quite like to see is maybe have Imi go back there with the AWP. Have him set up, then you can start rotating players off. You can have a heavier defensive A, and normally if you spot an AWP, most of the time you're not going to challenge it on banana, because unless the person is missing shots, it really does set you up very nicely for those sort of rounds. Either way, Imi actually going to be over towards the A side, looking to try and challenge in mid.
I think it's a lovely idea to start off with. That's going to catch out Freddy B, who just wasn't maybe expecting that angle coming out. And he's going to punish that. Perfect pick. Nothing lost either, but a very passive look towards B. Again, not challenging it. You can still see all the utility pretty much left on the B players. I guess Jesp used a little something, maybe a flash and a nade, but beyond that, they still have the molly, they still have the smoke. But you can see Smooya's right at the door, AWP in hand. He can just, you know, walk into this essentially, and Jesp could be in real trouble. I think you got Max playing at the back of Fountain, kind of by dark spot. Here we go. Smooya put to the test now, creeping his way forward. A bit of timing could come into this. If Jesp wide peaks on it, there's going to be trouble afoot, but he's going to spot one. That's going to show up on radar. Smooya, can he get out? Yes, he can. Safely retreated, and Jesp, about as useful as a chocolate teapot.
A little bit too slow to react, and now they're going to start throwing nades his way. Smooya finishes him off as well, leaving it down to just 3 players remaining, and I'm almost certain they're going to just have to save this one once again. 4 players over on that B site. No real chance of a retake. They do have the utility to give it a go, but it's just not worth the risk at this point. Keep your money, try and get back towards that buy in the next round. Of course, they'll be able to drop the rifles. A lot of their players still have full utility as well, so not even going to have to skimp in that resort. So not the end of the world, but still, that just seemed like miscommunication there from the CT side. If somebody goes down, especially where Smooya was, like him being that far out onto the site, that should be an easy kill. Good work from Mr. Pickles. Going to find Smooya, cost him the AWP at least. Epsilon
getting back into this, and any gun lost for Endpoint is actually a bit of a tragedy here, so they've got to try and keep hold of these. Imi as well, desperately holding on, but they're losing out on players, and Imi might be hunted out as well. No, he's going to try and stay safe. No one close enough to take it away, so he will keep that, but the rest lost out on theirs, so we can't see the money right now because we're staring at Imi's forehead. And there's obviously the other Orpo on the other side, Smooya there, who had such a great impact in the last round, just evening things out after that first pick on towards Freddy B. So hopefully we can see the money in this round, see how they're suffering at this point. Still able to fashion a buy, a little bit of a loss on Cryptics. They're not able to get a full rifle up, and obviously Mighty Max as well. But at the end of the day, it's still enough to be able to put up a fight, and they need the utility. And there we go. Imi's going to make a switch up, and it looks like Smooya's already predicting this. There it is, the outplay. Lovely read there from Smooya. So far, dominant performance with the AWP.
Yeah, the second he's had it is in hand, he's been impactful. And, well, the one good thing you have to say is that Mighty Max didn't have a weapon, so he at least has an AWP. The problem now, though, the wrap once again coming in. Smooya already gets his second kill, leaving just one player. And look at the rotation. Jesp is going to be walking straight into the... Is he actually going to go past them? They're just waiting. They're so patient. No information given. The Arch wasn't in the control of the CT side. And now Mighty Max, he's completely surrounded, has to turn around, does manage to get one, switches to the Deeg, but Maeve will be there to trade effectively. And while Pickles... he's now the only one left alive, and again, that's another round where you sort of look at it and go, why was nobody even communicating slightly there to say, okay, we don't have control of Arch, maybe don't just run straight.
Well, it looks like Jesper's just checked out. You know what I mean? Like, he was literally running without hand on mouse. You literally saw him not looking, or he was looking elsewhere or thinking about other things, and that's simply not good enough. But Smooya there with the outplay, it seems that he knew that Imi might have wanted to go for that little bit of a look down. Banana try and change things up because, well, to be fair, it's a decent idea from Imi to go for that. They were losing control on Banana, you know, on a regular basis. They may try and, you know, stem the bleeding, hedge the bets. And straight away, Smooya's there staring at you like, well, nice try, mate. I'm one step ahead of you. And so far he is. So credit where it's due. He's doing very nicely at that. But yeah, it's more for Endpoint. They look tilted. They don't look like they're all there at the moment. It looks like a little bit of a lax performance. But obviously, map 2, more of their choice. But so far, not exactly a brilliant start to the day.
In the corner, free kill for Mighty Max. Cosmine has been there almost every single time, so this time they will be able to take some control and get a rifle as well. Pickles is just going to be waiting. The rest of the team still making a bit of presence known, and the bomb actually alone over towards the other side of the map.
Yeah, I don't know why Cosmine was in that spot. It was completely untradeable. He was here very much on his own, and yeah, I don't know what you're really putting yourself in for, but again, Smooya to save the day, it seems. AWP aplenty, and he's feeling it. He's looking decent so far, 2 kills in this round. Now, Mighty Max did recover the rifle, but he had no armor. Neither does Jess, but they had the pistol upgrades there on the Deagle round. And that's why I'm a little surprised that Cosmine had pushed all his way up on Banana on his own. Smooya's just free farming right now. This is lovely. And he is a player that will respond well to getting eco frags, even if they are, you know, marginally upgraded with Deagles. If he gets confident, if he starts feeling like I can land these shots, if I feel untouchable, you know you're going to see him do well throughout the rest of the game. So he's one of those that will respond well to it. And it looks like Barbar's already got a good idea where Jess may be. And he does. Going to take his head off nice and easy. That's a bit of a summary for this game so far.
Yeah, I think it's one of those matches as well. Smooya just wants to destroy like his ex-teammates.
Yeah, of course.
He just wants to go into it and go, yep, this is why I left. This is what I'm here to do. And against UK teams, he always seems to be very, very confident anyway. So it's not surprising. He leads the board at the moment. Barber alongside him, although I'm pretty sure he got like 8 of his kills in the first like,
couple
3
of rounds. Yeah.
So maybe not go off that too much, but double AWP, switch up. They're going to go for the aggressive peek. Jesper this time had enough, and well, they are going to be just around that corner. Finds the first, second going to be running in. Jesper does the work, and he has support as well from Mighty Max.
Simply enough, the utility usage at the top of Banana wasn't good enough. They didn't flash up the AWP, they didn't hinder the player behind him. There was no mollies, no nades really to hamper them. Maybe getting a little bit set in their ways, Epsilon, and they are at 8-0, so you can't really blame them too much. But a quick reminder that you can't take things too lightly. And I wonder if that double AWP will have its impact again. I actually like the idea of this kind of aggressive, you know, top of B hit coming in from Epsilon, or at least a little bit of a split, 3 players towards it. You've got to support it with that utility in the nades, and I'm wondering if they're going to, you know, kind of nuke it, right? So you get like 2-3 nades just lobbed up there, maybe a molly to the corner, and just, you know, let's see if they actually adjust that. I'm wondering if they do. If they still go for the same thing, they know the double AWP's going to be in play. Is Jeff's going to go for the same sort of play himself? Let's see if they go for anything. No, they're going to play passive on this one, so get the utility away. I like this little boost as well. This is always nice. Get you a little bit of an angle to work with. I can never hit the shot, but, you know, I'm hoping that Jesper can. He already proved he's doing all right thus far. But a bit of a default from Epsilon. Maybe work that utility away from Endpoint they've retained from last round.
Yeah, looking like Smooya is going to be the counter. AWP, shot is actually missed. And this gives complete control at the moment over towards this T side. Again, map control just seems to be in their name at the moment. They've been pushing pretty much everywhere. They've got apps as well. And CT side need to make some sort of response.
Well, last time this didn't go so well. It was Mighty Max, I think, playing on the Fountain, and Jesper was playing over by the old the coils. And, well, Smee was able to isolate both of them, which was the big issue. Now, this time not the case. They're going to just have a little different hold, but they've humbled them to the site, and now, sadly, for the rest of the Endpoint boys, they have no information. They don't know. They're already playing very, very dug-in CS. You can see already very passive at the back of CT Arch, one on site. Charlie Pickles, hoping that someone's got some support here for him. Oh god, if Cryptix walks the wrong way at the wrong time, they've read this wrong. They already put a player. Imi's already started to back out, playing very passive towards, but Cryptix gonna land one towards Maeve. But there we go, still in a good spot. No pressure coming in at the same time. Very individual from Epsilon, but they do win out for now.
Imi looking to try and take one more just before the smokes fall down, but he's not going to be able to. And this will fall into a 3v3 retake. Now, the utility for the CT side is actually pretty good. They've got a couple of kits, and the Ts have absolutely nothing left other than their aim. But so far, that seems to have been enough. We are going to see a little bit of a boost coming in. Jesper just trying to spot someone around the edge of that smoke. As it begins to fade, it seems like the CTs as well. They're all just going to try and find this pick together. Smooya just holding the angle. Don't expect him to miss from there. Finds the first, and while Barber's there to spray down the remaining two, it's not eco-frags this time. He's finished that round.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Inferno's probably one of the only maps where it's not impossible to play retakes. So they're actually pretty close. That was the one bonus. They didn't have that long old walk all the way over where you have almost no time left by the hit, but classically hard to play retake on. And has this cost them a double AWP, or can they still get this one through? Let's see what Jesper gets. Okay, they still get the double AWP, which is nice. Now let's see what Epsilon have this time around. Will they go for the same thing? Default out, two players slowly on T stairs. Or they go for a bit more of an attentive play. Boost again from Endpoint. Maybe getting predictable. Almost caught out Smooya last round though, so this could be what they're going for. They had one shot, didn't land it, but already Epsilon so aggressive towards middle. Imi's going to have a little bit of a step out here. Catches a glimpse of one, and that's enough. Game plan now duly noted, but they get a free CT Arch. They've read the play here, Epsilon. They know they've been playing passive on the sites. Deep smoke comes in, and now they know nothing. There's only one man let loose towards Arch, but that's enough to scare the living hell out of Endpoint.
Yeah, Maeve, this is what he does best, just sneaking around the back lines and going to start running his way towards that B site. But this is all just a fake. The rest of the players are going in towards A. He'll go back with them. He's held the two players on the B site. And while Cryptix, he's got Pickles alongside him, they're going to have to do a lot of work. The nade may be able to finish off one. There's a couple of low players, a lot of damage being done, but nobody dying over on this Epsilon roster at the moment. Pickles just trying to hide in the smoke, and while Freddy B, if there's one place he's going to be, it's going to be there.
Gotta say, I'm liking how Epsilon play this T side. Endpoint, it looks like they come up with an idea for a couple of rounds and it actually got pretty close to working. There was a good, they came up with a decent theory. The double AWP was actually doing decent amounts, and they need these guns. They really need these damn guns. You can see Mighty Max, they're trying to fake the sound of him dropping, but then spraying into it, and allows Freddy B to know what's up. Now, Jesp next on the chopping board, but yeah, it looked like Endpoint had a little bit of an answer with that double AWP for a while. Kind of liked it. But as soon as Epsilon read that passive hold on CT Arch, you saw them exploit. Just put one man there, they all just get uncomfortable, have to play into it. Jesp, oh no. Oh no. Freddy B. Gonna find another.
Yeah, it seems at the moment, at least from my perspective, that their Arch control is just not there. It's just not there at all. We've seen multiple times we've had Epsilon wrap all the way back round to B.
Yep.
There, Maeve actually just waits. He manages to duck in just in. So, okay, the AWP's not there. Let's just run straight through, smoke it off, and not give Imi any information. This round is actually going to have to be a flat eco out from Endpoint as well. So, insult to injury. They are just saving to get everything back. And while now Cosmine is just going to go straight back up to that banana spot. Stack on A. It's not looking good.
Molly wasn't perfect to sandbags, but it's fine. No one was actually playing there. It's a pretty clean round. I like them using utility. I like the way they're not taking it lightly, even though it is 10-1 and you're on a decent buy against, you know, arguably what is going to be almost nothing against you. So good enough for them to do that, but they left the bomb in spawn, but they've got full control over B. They can put players in towards CT, and this should be a bit of a free farm for Freddy B if they actually push out that. There's the first. There's two players in towards the bedroom, though. Barbard's going to pan the stats out as well. So 5 alive, all good for Epsilon. This has been a little bit brutal, Tom.
I think the only thing I disagree with is the fact you said little bit. Because
Bit of bite
they're
pillow.
getting destroyed at the moment. The one round they had was based off an individual play from Jesp, getting a couple of kills on Banana.
Yep.
In terms of actual strategic play, I don't think there's been too much at all. They've tried to take portions of the map and nice little boosts come in, but if you're not hitting like the basic shots, there's been a couple of rounds where you sort of see Pickles in the pit and you think, okay, he gets his one kill, drops the bomb, maybe that, oh no, never mind, he's lost that duel even when he has an advantage. Same with the AWP, missing sort of shots that if you hit can completely change the round, and if it comes back to something as basic as that, then it's just looking like Epsilon are the better team at the moment.
I think it's not too surprising to see this on Inferno. It was kind of a little bit expected. Cosme's having a bit of trouble, though, isn't it?
Ooh.
That's not pretty. Good work from Max. Jesp now trying to keep into this. And I want them to fight for Banana. I want them to try and take control. I want them to nade down. I want the double mollies to actually hit. Max again going to find Smooya. That's a big bit of impact. Now, the players towards A going to have to expect the response. And there it is. Lovely flashes up mid. Barbar destroys them. Emi and Cryptic's a nice idea again. The theory is fine. The execution for them is always flawed, it feels. And now Pickles is like, every single time I'm here, I can't do anything. Oh, you might be able to find Freddy. They actually line up a little bit. And Freddy's left wondering what's going on just above the smoke. Very well. There it is. The Batman.
Oh my god. Maeve just jumps down, gets two, but it's into a 1v1. Freddy B on the site. He is the man in this tournament at the moment, though, so you have to worry for Max. He's got 8 HP, but his opponent's very low as well. Trying to just sneak around the edge of the smoke, hoping that maybe Freddy will go a little bit aggressive, which, well, Epsilon have been renowned for doing at the moment, but peeks out and it just looks too easy for Freddy. Doesn't struggle at all in that situation. 12-1, definitely the closest round we've had. And as you said, like, I like some of the strategy there, but you have to remember, they still had a 2-man advantage going into the end of that round.
And I'm pretty sure neither of the two players were on I guess, quad and then boosted onto the porch. No one was anti-flash. They both get caught. And even, they weren't fully blind, but, coming back in, Barbar's already got the angle. You're kind of screwed from the word go. So, again, I wanted to see Endpoint with a bit more money, but the economy's just been completely trashed here for a while. But when they have it, I want to see the fight for Banana. I want to see them, push back down. It was great play coming in between Max and Jesper. That actually worked really well. I just wish we'd seen that in the gun round. Obviously, you have to try and quell Smooya and push back a couple of players. Sure, that's not easy. But at least then you're not giving up everything for free. But this is nice. Pickle's going to find Freddy, but instant response. Barbar destroying them. Cryptics with a CZ, though, going to get into the action. And this might be possible. Maybe. Why is the bomb in spawn?
It always is. Epsilon, they're not really playing with the bomb, but they don't need it. They really don't need it. They're pushing both sites at the same time. And while after clearing things out, I imagine they'll just go and pick that up. Although Jesp still has a chance, but again, he's running. I think he's heard the shots, but doesn't matter. Cosme will still win the battle. The story of the game, pretty much so far. And that'll be 13-1 absolute dominance over on this T side from Epsilon. And it's getting to the point now where you could say, win the pistol, win the game.
I've seen better CT sides from Excel. It's just, what's going on? Don't get me wrong, obviously Epsilon want to prove a point, and a couple of players obviously want to. And for Epsilon, it's a road to recovery. Let's bear in mind they came to this team, and they're not exactly the most humble guys, right? You hear the interviews coming out from certain players, let's say, who are a little bit cockier than others, but this is better. Let's see if this works. They're actually fighting on Banana, but they just go overrun in the end. Not that much damage towards Epsilon. They kind of get through. Look at it. Freddy B's a little low, sure, but the rest are fine. Cosmine goes down, but they've got the bomb site for it. They've still got Banana control. They've got Ruins control, and they're getting shots through smoke. That feels great.
Yeah, they've got so much control over the map. It just doesn't even matter at this point. Barber only needs one bullet to finish things off. And again, it looks like they've set up correctly. I think it was actually a leg shot onto a kill coming out there from Jesp. So he did so much damage. And then Max in the corner just doesn't manage to do anything. And it's sort of like, it's been the story of their game. Maybe one player will do something that's like, okay, now we...
Yep.
And then the other one's just like, not even aware or not awake or just doesn't manage to do any damage whatsoever. So 14-1. Well, it's not a 16-0, at least, which we had a couple of weeks ago. But at the same time, I have no idea how they come back from this. I suppose at least if you go in this map and say, okay, that was a stomp, reset, and go on to yours. But at least for now, these couple of rounds is going to be interesting.
I guess you get that topic as well of, wouldn't you rather lose just a quick game? Like, all right, just get that first map out of the way. All right, we'll come back in map 2, rather than those like really drawn out OT games, and then you still lose, and you're there like, well, we've just given everything. We're all a bit mentally broken. But hopefully for Endpoint, they're not too out of this. I guess if you come into Inferno, it's not exactly a map that they're as proficient on. You kind of expect this. And for me, it's more the storyline of Epsilon getting to the point where they should have been at the start of the season. They didn't have the the perfect run.
No.
But they're 2 wins, 2 draws. They were meant to have dominance, right? That was their thing. They came into this with a lot of personality behind them and a lot of cockiness and a lot of bravado, and it just wasn't there to the extent we expected. But now we're starting to see that a little bit more dominance. We're starting to see them prove that okay, maybe there's a little bit something to see from these guys still. And sadly, it's Endpoint on the receiving end. But 14-1, Tom. Do you want to just cast this one, mate? We could just leave it if you want,
Well, you got a raid boss.
Yeah, you're a believer in Jess.
You've got a couple of nades to be thrown up, which are not really going to do too much. And Smooya already starting things off with the aggressive peek. They've actually got 3 players waiting. Smooya has doubled down, but there is at least 1 trade back. Barber again with these pistols, though, just going to slaughter the remaining players. And yeah, you were right. I'll give you that one.
Yeah?
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. And Barbar's feeling it. He's feeling good about this one. Always good to see. A bit of a smile on his face. It's been a bit of a testing time, of course. Turbulent, times recently for them. It's not been all smiles and all laughs. So
Testing maps
good.
as well. Like I think that during the first couple of weeks we saw Cobble dropped in, and here it was like they've done that, not having it, and rightly so. We saw them. I think they lost to Reason in like dominant fashion as well. So definitely seem to be more in their stride. And well, this sort of round, okay, Cryptix at least gets Cosme. He has been in the wars a little bit though. It's more been the Smooya and Barber show. Like Freddie B hasn't even had to have his same sort of insane performances that we've seen so far, which is more worrying if anything.
Yeah, I guess if you're not needed to go to those depths, it's fine. You're not going to look at like, oh, this is a bad performance from Freddie. It's just like, well, everyone else has just been there quicker to destroy them. And, well, this round doesn't look too much difference. Finally, it's the Charlie Pickles show. He seems like the only one to really be fighting back when it matters. Not just those rounds where it's like, oh, it gets close. But, no, he can make differences in the game. So it's down to the 2 on the retake, Smooya and Freddie B. Freddie's got a little bit of utility to play with. No kit, though, so going to be pretty tricky as they're going to have to go quite quick on this. 1 rifle on Pickles, armor on the others with the Deagles, and Smooya's just going for this straight through the smoke. Flash comes in. Not going to happen. Max there on the other side with the Deagle as Freddie now. Near on impossible here. Not feeling like this could work out. Good damage, but good damage doesn't do enough. 15 to now a couple more rounds for Endpoint. They're back in it, Tom. It's the comeback.
Okay.
I don't believe.
Well, we are going to see a force backup from the CT side. Would expect that anyway. Maeve, yep, he's going to buy down as well. So just basically trying to win this here and now. Not expecting them to win it, but if they did, I wouldn't be overly surprised. I'm hoping that at least maybe Endpoint can make the scoreline look a little bit more respectable. I'd maybe get it to like 6, 7, 8, and then, well, you never know. They could start to pull things back. Imi, at least picking off the first in Barber. This should be a fairly simple round, although it is a full investment from Epsilon, so it means then the next round they won't have too much.
Endpoint. Let's see. Can't make mistakes. Oh, already a bit of a dink comes in. Good work from Cosme. But still, it's a 2v4. And the only one who can really do much here is going to be Freddie B. You can hear all the steps, all the noise. You should check on this. He gets a chance and he misses everything. Freddie B, uncharacteristic misses in that moment. He's been pretty decent thus far, but a little bit of a whiff there, to say the least. And Maeve now just going to try and play it back in, do what he can. But no, 4 alive and a bomb plant. Pretty good work from Endpoint, but please don't tell me this is going to be the infamous, UK scene on CT sides. Epsilon dropped the game at this point. I've been scarred in the past, Tom.
Well, we've seen them have some very dominant halves. So versus Method, one of the 2-0 series, I think the only 2-0 series they've had. Both maps, or at least the first one, definitely went to overtime, and we were just sort of sat there like, it was the other way around. They were winning by miles, and then it went back, and then they won. So if they manage to pull this back, not only would I be incredibly impressed just based off mental fortitude, but it really would show how bad this sort of T-sided it has been in this tournament so far. But I feel like that's basing off of not a single player on Epsilon having one of those just explosive rounds. And they've got so many players that can do it as well. I can't believe until it hits like 14.
Yeah, no. We have seen ridiculous things, and normally in any other matter, any other game, any other situation, you wouldn't even consider it being a possibility. But we've literally seen games like this go all the way back to OT.
Yeah.
And Endpoint CT sides have infamously been pretty atrocious, to be fair, and their T sides have been decent. They play a decent game of CS on that. So we'll see. Again, this is a nice cleanup. maybe just get themselves feeling that they can actually get the frags on the board here after a bit of an absence for a while. Cosme now last man standing, and limited hope to get anything done.
Yeah, best case scenario here, he steals a rifle. That's pretty much all he can hope for. There is a singular man of Mighty Max, but I feel like Max would have to screw this battle up quite significantly to lose to a USP with no armor. And he's not going to, thankfully. So 15-4. Slowly building up a bit of money. Of course, the problem is you normally talk about build up of economy because if you lose a round, you can then rebuy. But in these sort of cases, they lose a round, they lose the map, so it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
They've got loads of money. They're going to be buying until either they lose or they bring it back again.
Yeah, and Epsilon going in on this. UMP, Famous, one kit. It's a little patched up, but it's perfectly fine. We'll see if Endpoint can, again, show a little bit of that prowess on the T side, pull this back to maybe a more respectable scoreline, but we will remember how that first half went down. Mighty Max, tendering early. You can see a little bit of a difference here. Epsilon vying for a little bit of control. Triple stack towards quad side as well, falling back away from it towards site on A, but Epsilon just going to have to sit back on this one.
Yeah, both teams, at least so far in this game, haven't had too much presence towards Arch, although we are actually going to see Barber rotate round and take a bit of a peek, because you don't want to allow the Ts, as we saw in the previous half, just to be able to wrap back around and take that portion of the map.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the Ts, they are just going to slowly make their way up through Banana. Again, this control has been available for both teams, but this is based off the weaponry at the moment for the CT side. And what Maeve now with the spot. Peek out from Cosme, but it's a trade. And this leaves Maeve alone, and it looks like he's just going to fall back. Wait for that retake.
You kind of have to at this point. Caught on the smoke anyway. Bomb goes in, default. Max playing towards Dark. He's still got Charlie Pickles on towards Banana as well.
Look at Jesp.
Yeah, Jesp on that late lurk. Timing's going to be everything, and limited amounts of saving for Epsilon. So again, their money's going to be kind of depleted if they obviously don't do too... Oh, Jesp.
I like it.
He's biding his time. He's got all the information. He's just going to have to hope the rest of his teammates can hold on to this, because Epsilon are going for it, bearing in mind. Boost comes out. This should be a double any day of the week. There's one. Spraying for the second. Jesp, good timing on this. And, well, Freddie B was putting up some numbers, but time now is ticking, and there's nothing left here.
Smoke going to go down, just trying to bait them in towards this bomb, but it doesn't matter. Pickles is going to take his head off, and that flank from Jess was absolutely perfect. Timed it well, could have taken the initial shot, doesn't, plays it patiently, gets 2 for the work as well. And the second that happens, you can almost tell that the retake just falls apart, because the remaining 2 players are going, okay, there's somebody behind us. We have to be watching for this as well as trying to retake a site, and it's just not going to happen from then. So back to pistols, a little bit invested into utility as well. And this is all about just maybe trying to limit the buy that Endpoint can get in the next round, not expecting them to win this one.
They're kind of in double eco territory anyway. Unless Epsilon just keep buying into this, which I hope they don't. I really hope they don't just keep buying throughout this one. They really don't need to. They've got so many rounds to play with. No need to rush it. Take a couple of rounds away. Barbar, gonna look towards bedroom, does spot 1, takes a little bit of flak from it, gonna fall off it however. Getting the nades out of the T side, and Smooth's gonna find Jesp. Gun was recovered for a second, but Charlie takes it away. Is Freddy gonna strike here? No, this is not the round, surely. The trades are decent for the CT side, and they still have players at both bomb sites. Now you've got to be pushing close, a little bit unpredictable. You almost don't expect a player to be this far forward at this point. So he's gonna commit towards that new wall. I guess newish. Oh, a lovely dink as well. Amy's been spotted. Now Barbar needs to try and be relevant to this as much as possible. Maeve buying time, making sure they commit to this. This could be over if they get this one right.
Yeah, Maeve peeks out, already takes down one more, leaves it onto Pickles. It's a clutch versus pistols. Molotov going to be going out. Yes, it's the wrong angle, but still gets the shot in the end. It's all onto Barber. He's retrieved an AK as well. And he's actually going to have the time to rotate. The bomb not going down. He doesn't have a kit, but that's not going to pay too much of a fact. The smoke is actually going to fade as well. I think he's just about got away with it behind the fountain, but has to peek out and try and find information, and he wins the duel. Thankfully, Pickles will keep Endpoint alive, but again, only pistols in that round, and it's a little bit too close, especially considering now there's going to be a buyback.
Yeah, with that damage done, really good work from Epsilon. Incredibly close stuff. Charlie Pickles, though. Bit of a backbone so far.
Oh, the pick play coming out.
Yep.
Double AWP.
Smooth and Barbar. So both well and truly able to put numbers on the board. Imi, though, holding the other side. Now, last time it was mostly Smooya who won that battle. This could be a difference, though.
Yeah, we'll see if it... Maybe it's just the T side. Maybe it's not the Smooya's the better AWPer. We'll just have to wait and see. But it looks like both AWPers at the moment are just playing very passively. They're going to wait for somebody to peek in, of course. Eventually, they have to take one of these angles, but Barber, screw that idea. Straight out, Imi's gone. And we won't get to see the draw of the primary AWPers because the secondaries found the kill.
Apps control going to start to be worked towards from Endpoint. They don't have anyone on Banana, though, and that bomb's all the way down by T-stairs, and Barbar still fancies it.
Jesp doesn't have armor.
Has he forgotten to buy it? Please tell me he's not forgotten to buy it. We check the money in a moment's time once everything goes a little quiet. Barbar going to spot an angle, going to fall off it. Did see him for a second. Quick flash behind him to ensure that he can't... Oh, Lord above. Why are you forgetting to buy armor? Henry G is going to have a lovely time breaking this one down. No armor purchase.
Well, especially
on
like he died. Moment. Like, how do you even...
Don't know. Barbar, though, going to make it hurt. Jesp goes down, punished for his crimes, and Barbar again going to bring this one home, it seems. Epsilon now 5v2. Endpoint might have just run out of steam.
Yeah, and Barbar definitely hasn't. He's now picked himself up 4 kills in this round. It's going to be Mighty Max trying to flank him from behind. If he gets Cosmine, that does give him a route back towards the side, but they know exactly where he is now. Completely surrounded, 20 seconds left to go, and Barber, of course, finishes the game with an ace. Absolute slaughter. In the end, it started to look like they could get some rounds together, but it didn't. I never believed, I'll be honest, I never believed.
Are you not a believer, Tom?
No.
I don't think I am afterwards. Hopefully things can change for map 2, but that's still a little way away. We need to hear a lot from the desk, I can imagine, on that one. Lots to be said, lots to be done. Can't wait to see Henry G's face when he discuss all the finer details of what he loves to see on Inferno. So, Tom and the desk, why don't you take it away?
Thank you very much, Pansy and Tom Beers. Great match 1 of map 1 and Inferno done there. So much to talk about. But I'll tell you what we'll do. The first blood has obviously gone to Epsilon. Pickles says Endpoint just need to win 1 map per match. Well, they've only got 1 chance left today. After the break, we'll be back.
Factually accurate, we will indeed be back.
Welcome along to the Gfinity Elite Series. It is week 5. Well, we've just seen a crushing win for Epsilon. They were on Inferno. Endpoint totally outclassed by the European side, with Barber and Smooya leading the way for Epsilon. So much was happening in that, and it was pretty much an epic win for Epsilon, like we predicted. On the panel with me, got Henry and Thorin. Where do we start when we chat about this? Well, where do you want the good, the bad, the ugly?
Let's bring us some of the...
Let's leave him to the end.
the points to victory brought up for Endpoint going into that one is Imi had to show up against Smooya. That just didn't happen, did it? Like, he had a very poor performance there. I think he was on 5 frags towards the end of it. They got a few rounds towards the end, but it felt like the game was already over. That's when he started to wake up. But it just looked like a clinical performance there from Epsilon in general. T-side getting 14 rounds, that's a very rare occurrence. That shouldn't be happening, and that just goes to show they're the better team. Nothing too flashy, nothing too tactical, nothing really to break down for you and say, this is an amazing thing they did. It's just great defaults, good teamwork. Any frags are going against them, they refrag straight away, stick as that 5-man unit, and a slow, methodical counter-strike, and it prevailed for them. It looked like Endpoint ran out of their depth somewhat.
Yeah, it showed again the UK CT side is just not cutting the mustard, is it, really, at the moment for us?
I don't know that the T side would have been that much better the way they were playing there if they'd just started on that side. No, the thing about that game there was, even though we've highlighted Pickles, because he's actually been doing pretty well, was doing well enough in this game here, if you're the AWPer and you're on CT side of Inferno, like Imi is for Endpoint, you've really got a lot on your shoulders. And you saw from the way they were playing, they were wanting to get that AWP into his hands. They were setting up the economy, well, aside from all the force buys, to get him that weapon.
Sure.
And so at that point, you must do something. You know, it's not about what your numbers are like overall. You've got all the resources going into you. And I have to say, the way they even played the CT side of this map, seemed like a pretty flawed approach from the get-go, because they were so passive, they were so defensive.
Well, I think they got rattled at the very start of the game. So we saw Imi, he got the AWP in the first gun run, right? He goes for the aggressive pick, he gets 1, but the problem is Epsilon side are very good at deploying all the Molotovs. They're dropping the Molotov on the corner, at the car as well. So sure, Imi got the first pick, but then he's rattled at that point. He gets taken down, refrags come in, and he actually can't go aggressive anymore. Yeah. He knows Epsilon have got those grenades in their back pocket. They're going to keep pushing him back, and I think that stifles all of these AWPers, especially a team like this who don't really have the strategies to counter what's going on there. They're going to get rattled. That's when they go into that passive mentality of, oh, we can't get Molotov, we can't do that to start. Let's just hold up in the crossfires. And I think there's that downfall. And this didn't get going at all here. You can see this towards Banana especially. That was a key interaction for the terrorists. It's kept finding entries every single time, given that Banana control. And that's a huge problem. If you're given that every single round, you don't then don't have to use grenades at all. You can save your grenades for the execution, and then it's just too easy. Then Epsilon can't really make a bad mistake at that point.
And if you look at some of these highlights we're seeing here, where Smoothie's getting the first pick every time, oftentimes for free. Like he's just peeking into the B site, getting a free shot on someone, and then retreating. Like that shouldn't be possible when you're a CT side and you have weapons. You've got to be covering each other's angles. You've got to have the utility to push them back. You can't allow the AWP to get a free kill like that.
Yeah, but I tell you what though, I'm calling it the pickle party. He did turn up a few times, do enough. When we move into map 2, which is going to be cash,
sure.
I mean, what, can the pickle party continue?
We're already trying to make that a hashtag, aren't we? We're going to bring it back.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I'm not sure. To me, like, as I always say in these games, yeah, sure, it's great. When you're 15-1 down and your star player starts to make some frags, like, that's quite nice for you, but that game's already lost. It gives them a chance to warm up, I guess, and hopefully we can see more of that form go into the second map, but right now, I'm not particularly feeling it. I don't think this team is kind of synergizing a whole. We're having one player step up in a round, and that's the only rounds they're really winning. It's not really like a 5-man effort to pick multiple rounds up in a row.
I mean, listen, he's had some decent enough games, obviously, in the Elite Series overall. He's played fine enough in this game here, but ultimately, you get left with a sour taste in your mouth.
Okay, good. We don't like that at all, do we, Thor?
Pickles, Henry.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Sour, it's a salty, it depends. Anyway, listen, let's not dwell on the pickle taste.
A bit more of the salty end of the equation.
That's it.
Well, there's been some salty play. Hopefully it improves with the cash. Let's get your predictions on this one.
Okay.
From what you've seen so far of the T
here's the
side, they
thing.
did get some rounds in there, Endpoint, but CT side is going to let them down.
I feel like when I was reading my sheet here today, because I opened up the first page, and I was just thinking, who is that?
Who is that? That's me, Thorin.
Who is that?
It's an
guy
old
there?
picture.
That guy didn't turn up today, so I want to know if Endpoint's going to turn up.
He's been saving the goals.
And if they do, maybe they can win their map.
He said it was going to be gold. It was lukewarm at best.
But here's the thing.
Listen, I like it. Nonetheless, I don't know where that
Let's
tie
see
is.
if they are worth the cash, unlike
This guy. Well, I'm glad he didn't turn up because he's not worth it. You've got me for the rest of the day. Let's have
Love
your
you
prediction.
anyway, mate.
Thorin, let's have your prediction on this.
Okay, I predict that Endpoint will lose the game.
Okay.
I think they might get 8 or 9 rounds here, potentially double digits. That could be exciting, couldn't it? They should be much better on cash, be more comfortable, I think. It's a less team-based map, especially on this, well, actually, the CT side. If they start CT here, they're in some trouble. I think they get a T-side star. They might be able to get 5 or 6 rounds in a row. If they win a pistol, which they should have done on Inferno as well. We didn't really mention that, but they should have done that. It's 4-on-2, which fell apart. They just get a pistol, get a bit of momentum, maybe get 8, 9 rounds. But Epsilon should win overall.
So another probably 2-0 victory. That would be 3 weeks in a row. Passing over to our casters today. Pansy, Tom Biz, you were expecting another 2-0 victory at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've seen it all. I see you're getting a nice trial by fire over there.
Oh,
You're having fun.
definitely. It's lovely. It's an old picture. Well, I'm sure we can get some old highlights of Thorin, but we don't do black and white. So listen, we don't go that far.
You can't do the comeback with your back to him. That's not how this works.
I haven't been in this industry 5 minutes. It's true. There we go.
No, it's
come
yeah.
back.
I think this is going to be.
That's in the ring now.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be the somewhat of what we saw on the first map. Just rinse and repeat. Henry, you know, he's got his hopes up. He's hoping for what, 8 rounds?
8 rounds, I reckon, would be good.
That's a nice marker, and it's cash. It's possible.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Tom Biz? You sat on the fence a little bit last time. You want to see an Endpoint win?
It's worried because they haven't even needed Freddie B yet. Like, he hasn't had to perform, and he is their best player. So even if things start going a little bit wrong and then he steps up, it's over. I don't think there's any chance for Endpoint going into this next one. They did beat Method on it, but that's not really saying so much at the moment.
Okay, well, listen. Take it away. Map 2 cash with Endpoint versus Epsilon.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I think this has been framed well enough. I think we now have a decent enough idea of what's going to go down. I'd love to be proven wrong. Again, this is all very much down to Endpoint. Show us what you got. You're on cash. You've been given this map choice. You're allowed to play a map that you're pretty good at as well. This is something that's a decent pocket pick for them. So hopefully get to see as to why. It can be a little bit more puggy. It can allow a little bit more of a lax style. But again, maybe they've been watching over Henry's old demos. He's got some lovely pistol strats on this. I'd be careful. But no, all said and done, I think the individual firepower from Epsilon is what you've got to be scared of. These guys, they're confident. They're feeling good. They look motivated. This is not exactly a bad map for them. It's not like they're going to come and go, oh, not the infamous cash. I think they'll be okay with it. It's just, I want things to go well for Endpoint. I genuinely do. I want to see a competitive match because map 1 simply wasn't good enough.
Well, they've said it themselves. They've done the stats for us that they only need 1 map just to get to the playoffs. So if they can steal this one away, we've seen it before actually, where we saw Epsilon absolutely destroy Reason on the first map, and everybody was like, okay, it's done. Next map, they're switching over to Cobble. There's no chance. And then just Cinder had a crazy performance and managed to win it. So if somebody can step up in a similar way, we saw Pickles towards the end of that game a little bit, and Jesp had a round or two. Maybe they can get things going. And I think getting that pistol start, getting the side they want as well, which they will have the side they want. They get the choice. I would be surprised if it's not T side.
I'm hoping.
Otherwise, they just want to go down and come back, of course. That would be the crazy stile of doing things.
I'm pretty sure they're going T side.
I think they've already switched. So
yeah, so Endpoint will be starting on T if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully we get to see a little bit more from them. This is an ample opportunity. If they can keep the economy humble from Epsilon, if they can keep those AWPs out of hand for Smooya, that could be great, especially the double AWP. Because that last round, he's going to be feeling... He's got a bit of a fire lit under him after that last kind of foray into the final round of Inferno. But all eyes on what Endpoint can do. For me, that is literally as simple as it is. How far can you take this? This is your map. This is meant to be your chance to get back into the game. So they need to bring a lot into this one.
Yeah. Luckily, it's not the other way around where they've just lost their pick and they're going into a map that they don't particularly want to be going into. But yeah, much better sort of start from them. Want to see them get this pistol as well. And already a little bit of utility for Imi. He's going to get a P250 as well alongside it.
I want to see the 4-door and Imi main. I want to see the Henry G Classic. It's not. I don't know if they've... I'd like to see a fake of it, maybe. That'd be quite nice. That'd be interesting. Because the bomb's over by B. We'll see where they go on this one. A little bit of boost towards middle. Smoke yet to be used. Imi's pretty far out by this point. Looking for the face in middle. Smooya last time was able to find 2 on the pistol. At least on the CT side on Inferno. Flash comes in. Falls off it. Information's been found and Cosmin can be played in. And look at this. It's such an important setup here. I think Barbar's the one being played in. It's basically the forest, right? It's the NIP style. You put the one player to be played in by the back box over in Checkers. He gets all the kills. Freddy creates the crossfire. You have Cosmin there. It's a bit of a risk. It's a bit of a stack. But you can see what happens when it works well. It's down to 3v3 now. But middle's a little open. It's a little vulnerable. If they can maybe get around the back, if they can cause a little bit of an issue, this could fall apart for Epsilon.
Yeah, Maeve has had the same idea, though. He is going to be waiting around the corner. Cryptics will actually take down Smooya, who was above, so it still leaves the man on the site, and that's actually going to be the players in behind. So they could just leave now and go back, or try and go back, if Cryptics can be able to cross towards A, which he will. So now Freddy B, well, he has control of that B site. He can hold on to it all he wants, because the players are just going to look to try and hold him in now as the bomb rotates. Although they do have to be a little bit careful here, because if he manages to bring this down to a 1v1, you wouldn't bet against him.
No, and he's still relatively well set. He's, what, 76 HP? He's not looking too shabby at this point. Mighty Max isn't playing close either. He's waiting till the bomb's planted, so I'm pretty sure I saw a kit on some of the Epsilon players. I might be completely mistaken. I'm not sure if there is one available.
I think there was a kit and smoke.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's still around. Freddy's not going to find it in the end or go for it.
Maeve? Yes, it was.
There it is. So this is back on. Now look at this play from Max. So that's very smart. Going to play the time. And Freddy considered it for a second, but he needs to hit a 180 clean shot if he even fancies a chance. And that's incredibly unlikely, but he has somehow got away. Cryptic's on the site, but the plant... Oh, it's for Highway. Freddy, if he lands this, one shot would have done it. Just looking for that pixel. Unable to find, but a valiant attempt. But in the end, we do see the star that Endpoint were desperate for.
That shouldn't have been that close. That really shouldn't have been that close, but they win the round. That's the most important thing from them. Of course, CT side likely to invest pretty much everything back into this round and just try and force versus. But actually, yeah, a little bit of money saved. We're going to have Smooya just buying a deagle. Maeve getting a deagle alongside the HE. And, well, they have a good chance to actually do a lot of damage here. There's 1 rifle, 4 SMGs, and 3 of them are Mac 10s.
We'll see. I like the utility, at least, from Endpoint. Loads of mollies, clear out the corners. You can play it a little later now. No one's really... I guess no one's giving themselves up for free, right? There's always a tradable player there as well for Endpoint, so they're not going to allow a gun to go missing, or... Oh, maybe Freddy's going to do it. Pickles was right next to him. Doesn't stick around. He's going to try and fall in. They're going to quickly hit off the back of this now. Just pushing towards A, but there's already 3 players here from Epsilon. And Barbar, he can do damage. That's the first shot. Any more to follow would be a lovely little addition, but it's now down to the other players. He's so low. Maeve, though, gets overwhelmed. Johnny Pickles did find Barbar in the meantime, and bomb's going to be planted. It's going to be retake time for Epsilon, and any damage is a benefit here. Only 1 rifle invested, though, is another nice bit of silver lining for Endpoint.
Yeah, ultimately, the losses aren't a massive problem as long as they still hold on to the round. C2 is, of course, going to be pushing in. Cosmin goes down. The Mac 10 is gone. It's down to just Deagles instead. And you can just see the passive hold at the moment from the T side. They know they don't have to peek in this situation. Max will take one down, leaves it on to just Freddy, who may try and save, but Pickles will not allow it. The SMGs farm up, make some extra cash as well. And with 3 players surviving, it's not the end of the world.
Good discipline from them not to get you know, lackadaisical about it all and try and play out, keep the guns up, keep the armor, keep that money building. You'll see some nades, a little bit of a flashbang invested into, not too much from Epsilon. Maybe just going to try and nade out somewhere, push off the back of the flash and catch a gun away or two. This is the round that would hurt Epsilon if they lose out on any of these 3 rifles. Obviously, Mighty Max, Cryptics, and Pickles going on that one. Charlie looking for that opener towards middle. Nades come in, though, and that's a good bit of damage. Look at these two. 2 of the riflers there. Taken a little lower than maybe wanted, but there's not much to follow it up. There's no upgraded pistols, but it's the other nades. Now, it's Cosmine and Freddy B. If they get contact, that could be quite fun.
I like this sort of like staggered nades, like just waiting to try and spot the majority of the team. Playing a very passive hold towards that B side at the moment, so they can rotate very, very quickly if necessary. But it is going to be this A hit. Unfortunately, Barber's the one on the site. He only has a flashbang, so he could delay them a little bit, which could line up those HEs. I think I'm sort of trying to foresee a future that is very unlikely, but you got to hope sometimes.
There's one more nade. There we go. Cosmine connects. But it should be an over one. It should be quite comfortable from this point onwards. There shouldn't be too much more. They have no more nades left. They have nothing else to do damage apart from those USPs and the P2K on Smooya. So bombs will be planted. They're chomping at the bit. You can see Freddy B wanting to get in the action, and so far, nice little shutdown from Imi and Mr. Pickles. Smooya, good dink. Oh, again, lovely shot, but nothing really coming from it, and he's feeling the pressure here. But if he can cost them these rifles, that's great, but you can see the man trying to alleviate all that pressure is Jesp.
Yeah, don't give him any more pot shots, please. Only one more dink, and that would have taken possibly a couple of players down. So in the end, they keep the majority standing. I think only one man dropped. That was actually based off those nades. So a little bit of damage done, but not really anything that's going to affect this T side, and they have made some decent cash early. Smooya is going to get the AWP, but based off the Deagle buy, he won't be able to get any armor behind it. So he's going to be very vulnerable to all of those nades, although there is only 1 HE in sight, which probably is the worst of them. And already, Pickles goes for the pre-fire. Unfortunately, Barber is better.
It's a great idea, though. It allows the mid-control just spraying into that. And now you've got the stack here towards Checkers. Freddy B, stunning shots from him. Jesp and Cryptics get absolutely banged out, as Cosmine's still able to play into it too. Does eventually get overwhelmed by Mighty Max, but by now, look where that bomb is. It's a disaster for the T side, and already see Mighty Max down to 11 HP, and the angle from Barbar. This is an absolute clinical shutdown. Imi trying to get something done here, but no, that is a lovely round from Epsilon. Very high tempo, lots of pressure towards middle, get the player up towards the vents, and ready for that B crunch.
Yeah, I think the T's should still have plenty of cash to buy back up, though. So it isn't the worst case. I think they had a UMP in there somewhere as well, so there's still the chance to reset the economy. Now, this could be the perfect start to them actually building a lot of rounds up on this T side if they can now do a lot of damage to the economy. Of course, Smooya didn't even have armor, so we had to buy that, a kit, utility as well. So he spent pretty much all of his cash. And on the other side, well, all they've really got is a Galil over an AK. The rest of it's absolutely fine. Imi has that AWP, and as was said on the desk, he's yet to do too much as of yet. But Barber, not going to go for the aggressive push as of yet, just waiting for anybody to counter boost.
Well, Charlie Pickles is keeping an eye on it, but the problem is he's kind of left with 2 places to keep eyes on. One's middle, you know, the normal, you know, T-red, I guess, and then the boost. So while this happens, they're building up towards A, but the timing could just be off. The problem is that Barbar could just peek over at the right time, and then Charlie Pickles walks back into it. That's the only issue. The bomb's still left back here, so
Oh, no.
Here we go. Let's see what the timing's like. Barbar does get a spot. Gonna fall off it as well. Doesn't overcommit, and I quite like that. Gonna try and support towards A, because already one player's fallen, that's being Smooya. Goes down. Now, Endpoint don't hit instantly off the back of this, though.
Yeah, slowing things right down, waiting for rotations to come out from this CT side, but it is Barber. He's back on that AWP, looking to try and fight for that primary spot by the looks of things, as he's been doing work with it so far. It was Smooya as the catalyst on the site, the only man on A, and it has switched up. Peek out from Imi. He's actually got quite far here. Maeve is going to go down, and Imi seemingly starting strong, and now Barber's just getting sprayed through the boxes, trying his best to survive. Still takes one with him, but eventually gets traded out. Leaves it into a 2 versus 3. CT side already have a flank coming in.
Look at Freddy. This is still so possible. Just because of that work from Barbar, it's left it into a situation that could work. Freddy a little bit sloppier on the spray than expected, but a quick look back from Imi. A great molly, and Cosmine then strikes. This is great stuff from the CTs, but for now it's down to Charlie Pickles, who's been solid thus far, but crumbles under the pressure, as that was a lovely little retake coming out. But Barbar doing what he did, bought time, and look at him.
He's so chilled out.
Barbar, the thing is, he was one of those players that has had, almost broken into not necessarily tier 1, but, constantly pushing to get closer and closer and closer, and then the lineups fall apart. He was part of that infamous team, I think, who had that ridiculous overtime game that went down not too long ago. I think that Matt and Henry were actually casting. It was part of that, the infamous Sadicus line of Barbar, which was, now attached to him forevermore. But the point is that he's an incredibly good player, but you see it in small doses every now and then, like that AWP work, him buying time, staying alive, finding one when they were pushing up towards quad where he had no HP. Brilliant stuff, and he's going to be picking up the AWP over Smooya for now. So Smooya maybe not feeling it yet, maybe just wanted to get into the action, and this could be awkward. If he gets outdone here, this will be frustrating, and I can imagine that will get him a little tilted. Charlie Pickle's going to punish, and it's Barbar again to deal with the remainder. He could be in trouble here as well. Endpoint getting into a real tricky position for Epsilon to handle. Great work from Mighty Max to take the fight on Highway.
Yeah, now this actually comes back to a decent position. They picked up a little bit of utility. They have themselves rifles, although that Molotov from Freddy's perfect. Picks out the player in middle, and that's so important. That was the flank. That's gone. It's all based off the remaining players. And actually, look at the push coming out from Mighty Max. He's trying to find out information of players coming in from behind. They should now know exactly, or at least roughly, where the remaining players are going to be. Imi towards the back of the site only has a pistol, so he's more of the bait here. He gets one. That's more than enough for what he should be doing. The problem is the plant, and they can actually just fake this out, cause the push to come in, but it doesn't matter. Mighty Max doesn't use the rifle, doesn't need it. He's got the Tech 9.
And it all started with Smooya being called out in middle. Bit of an awkward situation when 3 people face in middle over boost. You get a little flustered, doesn't handle it, and then at the end of the day, it was a nice initial shot from Barbar, but then instantly taken down. And look what that's done to the money on the CT side. They're going to have to just take it how it is right now. It's an upgraded pistol or two. Got the UMP on Freddy, but on the other side of things, Endpoint back in the action here. This is far more competitive. We knew that their T side was better. Let's bear in mind that's not too surprising. But here comes the stack out from Epsilon as well, putting players everywhere. Nice little underhand flash going out from Mighty Max, and now he can isolate and handle. Hopefully Smooya still alive through the fire and the flames and connects the shot towards Mighty Max and looks for more, but look at they've already broken through towards middle. Freddy is in real trouble. That's the bomb, though.
He's actually managed to get the bomb. That is ridiculous. Picks up a rifle as well. As said, they didn't need him so much in the previous map. This time, see what he can do, but gets taken down by Jess. Retrieves the bomb, although actually, no, not close enough. Can't do anything about it. Into a decent position. Now they can actually hold for any sort of rotations coming in from behind. It's left the retake potential fairly low. But at the same time, we've already seen some pistol magic from both of these players in the previous map. However, it has to be said that Smooya got off to a much better start in the last, and that can make a big difference. He has, however, found one here.
That's a gun recover too, which is pretty important considering how poor the money's been for Epsilon. He needs to keep hold of this at this point. There's no two ways about it. Even the T side, yeah, they're pretty weak themselves on money. It's not worth him losing out on this. So, again, smoke, rifle, decent for him. Decent damage done as well towards Imi, Mighty Max, and Cryptics, of course. But at the end of the day, it's around on the board for Endpoint, and that's the one thing they were missing in that first map. Simply enough rounds on the board. So finally, they get off to a decent start here. 5-2 is going to look lovely in comparison to what happened on Inferno.
Well, even just when you look at sort of individually, they've already won like a very crucial clutch in terms of their economy. They had the round, well, that was based off pistols as well, where they've sort of snuck one through that could have actually been a problem in terms of their economy, and instead done a load of damage, and just based off confidence as well. When someone like Max wins a duel versus Cosmine, that's going to boost him, but you have to take into account as well, I feel like Epsilon are another team of just very emotional players, where you can sometimes see Cosmine just completely fall away from the map, or be the best person in the server. Same with Smooya as well, who is actually going to be the catalyst rifle in this round, has the one weapon to play with. We've already seen his aggression so far hasn't been going too well.
But why not? He was able to keep the rifle. Why not just, give it a little more to play with? You've been doing damage on the upgraded pistol. Still got a Deagle on Barbar, P250 as well, towards Maeve. So at this point, you've got to be a little careful, Endpoint, but you still have everything to play with. But look at Barbar pushing right on up here. This is great. If he can time it right. And Imi's not expecting it this close. The tag comes in, the swing comes out, but Imi will win that fight. Gets an AWP to hand now. Going to drop off that rifle as well. And the boost towards middle. Where's Smooya at this point? He was playing towards Connector, going to go and bolster the numbers by B, and they're just going to split 2-2 and hope for the best.
Yeah, and it leaves the A side actually as far worse off at the moment. There's not really any weaponry on on that side of the map. It leaves basically Smooya to hope that they go towards this B site, and they are at the moment. Only 45 seconds left on the clock as they look to try and push in. Now, once they spot this rifle, they have two options. Just try and isolate it or leave. I'm kind of hoping they just leave, but actually, Molotov going to be going in. Smooya, it doesn't matter. He gets nothing done. Maeve does better with the P250, but it's not really enough. Most of the players survive, 3 out of 5, and still money will be building now over on that T side.
And I guess the discussion point is the emotional players, right? You've got Smooya that when things go well, he can take the face off of anyone. But
Last map.
But then if he's having a bad one, if he's having a slower game, the money's not been great for him. Still looking for the armor to supplement that AWP, but he's not had it yet. This could be problematic for him if he starts to fall under the weight of this one. Could be a bit awkward, but Endpoint really building through. This could be the old first pro style hit. It looked like the smoke's coming out from all of them. This is lovely. It's the deep double smoke. So I guess it's almost the Astralis, right? If you want to look at how it kind of plans out. Deep smokes come in. Maeve, though, it could be the complete undoing of all this. He's heard it all. But how much damage can he do? The call's going to come in. They're going to play retake aside from this. But he has to give away the game. Imi comes back. The bomb now on site. He's looking for options. He takes away another. This is great stuff from him. The rest of Epsilon surely can play off the back of this. It's all been given to them.
Yeah, Mighty Max does get one, but it's all onto Pickles. And that play from Maeve made the round. That was pretty much it. The second he sees the smokes, he's just, okay, I'm the only man here. I've got to do something. He goes straight through. The thing that was a bit confusing is they don't actually try and turn back around. They just try and fight, which is understandable. But at the same time, with a man in behind, you're always going to lose another player. And if Maeve's getting 2 for absolutely nothing, that's not good enough.
Yeah. Nice stuff, though, from Endpoint. Got to say, the very throwback Astralis hit towards A. They were one of the first teams to do that really deep smoke. The deep smokes towards truck that just give you a little bit more access to the side and still deny the AWP. So it's really, really nice, actually. So I'm kind of impressed to see them go into this. It does show that this is far more their map. We didn't see the sort of creativity and approach on Inferno at all. Now, we do see Imi and Smooya against Smooya looking to make difference over by B. Having a little peek down. There's a player there. I think it's Jesper slowly playing it. He's not going to give away much. And aggression towards middle. Cosmine there going walkabouts.
Yeah, I like this setup. It's basically have a catalyst up on either side, and then have the players just sort of fighting more for middle. And it just gives you so much more control when it comes to any sort of portion of the map that is attempted to be taken. Normally, those AWP should be getting that first pick, unless utility is used very well, which I do have to say Endpoint have been very good with all the setups they've done so far. And utility-wise, things have been great. They've just been caught out by a few individual plays, some pushes as well. Still in the lead, though, at the moment, and still with a very good chance to actually reset Epsilon once again.
100%. Yeah, mate. Another opportunity. Oh, he sees the barrel of the gun. Takes a shot. Oh, the molly doesn't quite... I think he'll reach. Just in case there was a player there. There isn't. It's on highway.
Floating fire.
Gotta love it. Now, might be down to Barbo, who's been pretty consistent so far. Bearing in mind, they are looking like they want to crunch towards A. And it might be the same smokes and same hit coming through if they go for it. I'm curious. They might just try and let Imi do some work on his own.
Yeah, late smoke, though. Only 35 seconds left on the clock. You have to wonder whether or not they're just going to execute through it. By the looks of things, they are. So Barber going to be sat at the back. Molotov's going to clear him out of this site. Just going to have to fall all the way. Maeve even going to be pushed off. This is a lovely setup coming out, but they haven't found any kills as of yet. Barber will get himself first and second. He really is showing his stuff with this AWP. Freddy B is actually going to go down. Mighty Max has got another for himself, but Maeve once again, he's fallen back into this A main spot, left it down to just Pickles, and Smooya cleans things up in the end. Big problem at the moment is just Maeve is too sneaky.
Again, though, Endpoint, it's a good approach, right? It's a really nice approach. They've got some nice strats. They've got, the mollies over the site. They clear out the corners. But the points they're leaving open, you're seeing instantly Epsilon finding room to work. They're able to isolate the player over forklift. And by that point, it was a bit split, wasn't it? You had Imi kind of by the barrel spot, the boost area. He was there on his own. There was 2 players by the site, one I guess with bomb in hand and one on top of red. And there's so many nooks and crannies that you saw the Epsilon exploit and get in towards. As soon as that man was behind, the spray down was lovely from Maeve, obviously. But by this point, that's a little bit uncomfortable. That'll be frustrating for Endpoint because you do the strategy right, but the individual play, the synergy, doesn't quite get there. And speaking of frustration, Smooya not landing shots as smoothly as I expected.
Yeah, definitely not looking like the same player from the previous map. Barber actually now going to catch the same... Well, illness at the moment, missing all the shots, eventually catches one, and it is the bomb as well. But he goes down on the site. Cosmine sprays wildly. Epsilon Not actually connecting at the moment. It's getting a little bit worrying. They're going for the bomb plant. Pickles is going to be happy with that. That's a load of bonus money. Only one player dropped in the end, and you feel like it could have been far worse. But Endpoint going on their own game at least. Already got the bomb plant. Already got all that extra cash. They're going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, no, out of the checklist of things that you expect from those rounds, or want, the bomb plant is pretty near to the top. You don't expect to win the Deagle by with no armor, and just hope that somehow Freddy isn't doing much. Barbar's missing shots. Smooya's not landing him over by B. It's a very quiet performance from him, and Barbar, as highlighted, really stepping up here. He had a great end to that first map. Clearly put on a nice, very confident point. And again, let's see what they can do here.
Already though, Cosme.
That's going to be
down him.
frustrating.
That's straight through the smoke as well.
Yeah.
He's definitely not had not even the best of days, I would say. It wasn't really someone to highlight in the previous map. I think we were looking at the Smooya and Barbar show. More in tow with Barbar, so they definitely have depth in this squad, and they may need it in this matchup at the moment. As said, the buyback in, thanks to that bomb plant. Imi going to be looking to clear these close angles. They know where Maeve is. Can't catch him as of yet, but he goes falling back into the hands of Imi, and already a two-man advantage for this T side.
Epsilon, it feels like it's hard for them to find their, the right tempo. Do we go aggressive? Do we want to try and push up? Because Endpoint are playing quite a passive, slow, mid take late into the round sort of game. Imi's doing wonderfully at that. You've seen him a couple of times being quite successful at just challenging and being a nuisance. And the patience is certainly not a virtue with Epsilon right now, but this is going to be the A hit. 2 players already here, though. Freddy, B, and Barbar. Now, these two were a dastardly duo just last week, so do not underestimate them, but still 3 mollies left with the T side. Barbar's committed to such an aggressive angle.
Yeah, the core of the team looking to try and hold on, and the missed shot is going to give them the chance to cross, leaving it onto Freddy. Barbar does manage to catch one out, but this is going to be so difficult from here, and Imi, he's showing up in this round. Found himself a couple of picks, leaving just Smooya. Realistically here, he should just try and save that AWP. 1 versus 4. It'd be nice for the highlight reel, but I don't see it happening.
Telly wants to prove a point. Looking for another victim, but they're not giving him anything, not an inch. And no mile to take. He's gone to sight, spots one at quad, and it's all but a bait. As soon as he takes that shot, surely... Oh, Smooya! Nope. He taps the bomb. It's down to a 1v1. Again he goes. Jesp, where are you? Jesp is holding his cool. He's holding his nerve, looking for the Smooya. Not yet seen him. Jesp makes a bit of noise. He makes a bit of sound, and Smooya's being toyed with here. Jesp is staying in control. The shot's brilliant, but the time is simply not enough. Smooya puts on a show, but the show comes to an end, and it's Endpoint again at the helm.
How does he get that many kills, though? That's still... that's a round where they've only just brought back in. They used the bomb plant for the extra money, so I want to see how much cash is actually over on the Epsilon side. It's not great, but of course they're going to buy.
But this is the thing, right? This is what a lot of people will say. If you unleash Smooya, he can do disgracefully good things. Things that you don't often see that can be brilliant to watch, but it's hard to fit that into a regular game of play. He's been having a quiet game until then, but a fast B hit might be coming through here. And Barbar's the one to be on the side who's been far more consistent delivering, but touches the molly, and that can be a problem now. They're going to check for this, and he can't back away. They're committed. Barbar's caught in no man's... What? Why are they not...
How is he there? It's still not going to matter because Pickle steps up, but yeah, just left in the open somehow. He dodges some bullets for a little bit. Cosme will turn it into a 3 versus 3. Still a chance for a retake here. Smooya on the AWP. Maeve still has a UMP, but the B site can be close range, and they have a decent amount of utility to try and clear out a lot of these positions. Bomb going to be planted for checkers. Smokes are going to go down to actually isolate a lot of these players, and Jesper's going to move in to just hold underneath. Perfect position, but goes down. Pickles on the site is the one looking to hold on, and Maeve, UMP, clearly it's not been nerfed enough as he picks up 3 kills.
Look, he saw Smooya do that last round. He was like, look, I'm going to show you how to do it and then win the round. So no, brilliant stuff on the retake. Good play coming out for them. But how the hell did Barbar stay alive there for enough time to even land 1 shot? These games sometimes...
See, it's so obvious a spot.
that they don't expect
it wasn't obvious at all.
You know what? You're a genius. Have you ever thought about coaching, No, sorry, I got you confused with Moses. He pretends he still knows a couple of things or two.
make it up as I go along.
That's the one. If you say with enough conviction, everyone believes you. 6-7 though. Endpoint still retaining the lead. This is a far better half, and this is staying true to Henry G's sort of 7-8 rounds. If we know how their CT sides go, this should be pretty much it. But Barbar going walkabouts. It's going to be a little bit of an issue considering there's two players there waiting on a bit of a play-in off the back of it, bit of contact. He could lose that all.
Only pistols in
Ow.
play, so I don't know why they didn't just go to try and challenge that, and you let him fall back, and he's not going to miss the second shot.
Let's
Simple
go one
stuff.
by one. Let's go one by one and give him time.
We want to give him a chance.
Exactly. It's only fair, especially when Mighty Max is doing that.
He doesn't have the bomb now. They're actually going to leave the bomb as Cryptic's
Don't need it.
running back in.
You don't need armor, you don't need the bomb. UKCS.
I wish we could just have your arm movements just
Don't encourage that.
the more you know, that sort of thing. Like the doo-doo-doo.
Sorry, what? Do-do-do. Sounds like my phone from the early 2000s when it turned on. Do-do-do. Yeah. Well,
I
that's
feel like we
nice.
went off track a little bit there. But
Well,
yeah,
it was a very
just
exciting
pistols.
round. There was a whole kill. It
Mike
feels
Max
that,
held it up for a little bit.
he did. He had a go at it. And this time Imi's taking it off him. He's like, no, I'm the AWPer.
Pickles, no armor, AK.
Tell me there's
He
there's
can't
no money.
afford it. He
Tell me
can't
there's no
afford
money.
it. No, he can't. I'm certain.
Yes.
Certain. He can't afford it, but I still don't like it.
No. I'd rather him just deagle or something. Get a bit of armor, get a deagle on.
UMP?
UMP.
Maeve's shown how good it is. Boost actually going to be coming out, and how is Maeve still winning that? Eventually, there will be the trade out
Who does
from
that
Imi.
one-way boost? No one likes you doing that. It was, it was fun and quirky when the couple of pro players did it like last year. Now it's just like, you're the people I play on matchmaking at 4 AM, aren't you? Well done. Barbar though, still going to be playing over. I think he's playing kind of in between quad and MBK. You're going to commit towards quad for now, but he does have support very close by. Cosmine there, and it's Barbar to land the shot somehow. As Charlie Pickles does punish towards Cosmine, but we're down to 2 here.
Just going to be peeking into the angle, and Barber is not going to be missing that. He hasn't missed much with the AWP today. And then Smooya with the crossfire. 8-7. Epsilon end up winning the half. Now we get to see Endpoint on the CT side. And if they are going to survive in this series, we've got to have everything crossed that it's better than what we saw in Inferno.
So the shot on quad I'm not all that impressed about, right? That's it's good, but it's the one onto sight where you're just like, yeah, get absolutely wrecked. But yeah, just is the unsung hero of this, because let's be honest, we're all watching Smooya doing this crazy clutch that he shouldn't have had or got that close to, but just buys time, and that's all you had to do here is just keep Smooya away from being able to do that full defuse. And again, these shots, they are world class. There's no taking that away from him. I hate to harp on about it, but this guy is a very young talent. If he's able to harness that and put it into a team perspective and be kind of allowed to do those sort of plays more often than not when he's like, oh, last man alive, just go for it if you want to. If he can find a way to be able to create that room for himself, there's a lot you could see from this man. But again, this is still him learning in a good atmosphere, let's be honest. Epsilon are a very good team. They're very well respected. You've got Barbar there, Freddie B, some very well-known kind of figures, and hopefully he can come a long way in that. But on the other side of things, the main storyline here is, can Endpoint keep it together on the second half?
Yeah, can they steal that one map that they desire? That's what the tweet was about. Only one.
Yep, just one.
Just one. Don't want the 2. That's a little bit too much to ask for. So
They're humble people.
yeah, of course. And if they can get that done, well, especially against a team like Epsilon, that'll be a big deal. Who are now starting to wreck face after they had the sort of problems in the first couple of weeks. So it was very surprising seeing the sort of Reason matchup where you were like, okay, this should probably be a 2-0, and then they end up actually just absolutely getting demolished on Cobblestone. They have now banned it, so to be fair,
it's just like, now we're not
they are
gonna do that again.
reacting, maybe not in the best way, but should we get better? No, let's not play that one.
I guess you've got to work on your map pool. And there's no better time than now. Just test it out against teams here. Okay, you know your strengths. Let's say they've got their core 3 maybe maps that they're really happy to go to, and just work out what works for you, and then just build off the back of that. So for now, we're waiting for that second half, and I don't know what to say when it comes to Endpoint. They're a team that we've seen moments. We've seen Charlie Pickles. He's a storyline amongst himself. He does deliver on a relatively regular basis. He's a very good player. It's just it doesn't necessarily always win them rounds, right? He'll get the 2 kills and then it fizzles out to nothing. He's trying. He holds his own, but he needs everyone else to step up too. Imi has moments where he's this god-tier player, picking up great picks towards middle, opening up opportunities. It's just you need that kind of follow-up push. And Endpoint's CT side so far have left a lot to be desired. This has to stop now. This is a map that they're meant to be good at. This is meant to be not necessarily maybe their most comfortable map, but whatever it is, this has to be better than Inferno. So we'll see. They've got a buffer.
It already is much better than Inferno, but at the same time, I do agree. They've got a lot to sort of work on. I'm hoping that IMI in this map at least will have much more impact with the AWP because they were really focusing on it, but it didn't really do too much. Either way, T-side, Maeve with the utility, no surprise there. Smoke and a kit, almost the exact same sort of buy we saw on the previous half. However, this is going to be pushing in towards the A site, and it's not a retake. We see a lot of retake scenarios on this A site. We've got Pickles deep in quad.
I actually like this hit from Epsilon, though. Gets him on the site, makes a plant quite likely. That's beautiful work, though, from Charlie Pickles, plucking the heads off of 2 players and looks for a third. Maybe they're still staying alive somehow, as Smooya's been allowed to sneak his way towards site, but the bomb's yet to cross, and everyone here from Endpoint is in the right place at the right time as Barbar tries to play the timing, finds an angle, but Mighty Max strikes. It's Smooya gone, and it's down to 2 now.
Yeah, there should be no way Barber gets out of this alive. He was completely surrounded. The bombs actually started to go back towards middle. They still have time to play with, hoping that Barber can sort of open something up because Maeve doesn't actually have any armor, and all that utility that they had previously is gone. So it's all just going to come down to basically if Endpoint makes some massive mistakes. And while peeking in, there's still a couple of low players, like 18 HP between IMI and Jesp, and that's because, well, Jesp only has 1. So a couple of mistakes here, and this round really could just turn back. Barbar looking for the peak. Cryptic's one of the higher HP players, but he gets taken down. Now it's all onto Maeve. Big chance to actually get a bomb down here if he can just go running onto the site. Nobody there to stop him. Cryptic's missing the shots on the cross. Actually going to bait him in, and, well, Cryptic's takes his head off. Not going to miss that one, and thankfully so.
I got a little nervous.
Yes,
there were moments I was like, okay, that could have gone a lot worse. But it was kept relatively together in the end. It almost like they could get out on A, but then Charlie Pickles locked it out from quad. Beautiful work from him, those 2 kills. Quick succession, not allowing them close. Smooth being found. Perfect. Now buying back into the zone. Epsilon going to get the Deagles up. P250s on the other side. UMPs. And, oh, no M4 to be seen. Oh, hello, Freddy. That's a shot and a half. IMI gets absolutely ruined.
Oh, that has to hurt. Just the pre-fire through the smoke. Barber now going to take full control of middle as well. They've fallen into the more sort of static 2-2 split. And this gives so much room to play with. But they are at least taking control on other portions of the map as well. They've got a main, which was so important when we saw Epsilon on their CT side. Only leaving 1 man towards the site, though, so there's still a chance that they could actually just isolate this 1 person and actually get themselves a bomb down. Pushing into Z as well. But it seems like the CTs are very aware of all these potential pushes.
Yeah, they're not being called off here. It's just that potential of that 1D coming in, right? It's always there. There's one of them, Smooya. Maeve, oh, it's a little awkward now. Bomb screen planted, it's a 2v2. Now, they don't have much utility. No nade, no molly to lob down. So it does allow a bomb plant to come through. Smooya's only 8 HP, so that should be fine. But there's still a threat here. There's still an issue with those Deagles.
Not like this. Not like this. Push going to be coming back in. Pickles spots out 1. Only needs 1 bullet connected. It's on to Maeve, just trying to dance, buy himself some time, but he's going to get overwhelmed. The Deagle runs out of bullets. Not really the best weapon to have at close range anyway, because you can't really spam. And it is going to be at least that follow-up round. But again, a bomb plant. So the T's are going to have some extra money, hopefully going into their buy round. I don't really want to see them force again, but they're going to be feeling confident. They have been pretty much all the way through the game. It would be very risky. And they're just going to go for a similar sort of buy, get some Deagles in. It does mean unless Maeve drops one, we're not going to have an AWP going into their first buy. Although he may do, because he's full ecoed, so...
See.
Not again. He's close.
I almost felt that happening. I was like, no, not like this. Oh, Smooth's found 1. This is where it gets costly because the real rifles are up. This is where you don't want to be losing out on players at all.
Enemy's already tagged down to just 33 HP, so he can't really take too much of a fight in middle anymore. Those Deagles, a bullet to the chest will do enough. Cosmine absolutely destroyed though, and they are playing these longer range angles with the rifles now. Again, just falling back to the sites, not allowing these pistols to take too much control. Barber, every time his crosshair goes anywhere near anyone, I'm expecting their head to explode. And, well, I think he does as well.
We've got the 2-2 now. It's just, you know, pick your poison. Try and find whichever site you feel better on, what you have more step to. Barbar being in towards vents is always nice, but you've got the early warning system of the other side of the vent and then contact towards Max on the other side. It does look as though they are getting ready for that B hit, though. Still have Freddy B towards middle. That's going to spot a fair bit of this out. Barbar needs to land something big here. Not going to happen just yet. And yeah, this is lovely from Max. Keeping it well under control against unarmored opponents, of course. So nothing too thrilling, but a nice performance from him just to not lose out too much, not to give away utility. Nothing really given for free. And Freddy being forced off and now position noted.
Yeah, that round of necessity from Mighty Max. Making sure they build up their economy. They keep the lead as well, which is very important after you win the pistol, that you don't just sort of throw away one of these rounds. But, as said, that extra bomb plant, AWP is going to be dropped over as well, so it is nigh on a 4-buy coming in for Epsilon. And, yeah, CT side doing all right as well. They still have the FAMAS in play, but I don't think that should be too much of a hindrance. They don't have that much spare money, though, so going into the next round, if they do lose this one, it's going to have to be a risky force.
Yep. Are we going to see a boost here, or are we just going to see a pick? Yeah, we are going to have a boost. Maeve ever makes it. Oh, God.
What?
Oh.
We switch.
Made it there eventually. If you get the boost right, you can see over towards the white box in middle very, very clearly. If you can do it quick enough, you can't really catch him crossing, but you can get anyone who tries to wide peek out on it. And look at Freddy. How is he allowed this close? Good trade from Jess, but you've got to be frustrated with that one. Now, limited information. Have they got through towards site? Where have they made it at this point? So you can see a response already going to pull over Imi. Jeff's feet showing a little on the vent there. A bit of a spray comes in, and they're going to play into it. They're going to try and find the info. Don't see anyone yet. Look at Cosmine as well. He's very, very viable to go for something here, but that one push from Charlie Pickles could be the downfall of all of this.
Especially because the bomb's going alone. That could be just the be-all and end-all of this round. Smooya is going to be checking the angle, rounding the corner, flash in from a teammate. Sprays a bit wild, but it doesn't matter. Eventually, Cosmine will trade one back. Gets a second as well. He's made things interesting, and the rotation's all coming in from CT. It means the bomb is going to be planted. Maeve goes aggressive. Now Molotov's out. Smoke will fall as well, and they can get the plant.
This is going to make it hard for the retake. Cosmine is low, definitely, but one kit. Gonna pop Imi on over. A little bit of a quicker route here. Oh, Christ. What is wrong with the UK in trying to boost players? Wow. I guess it's not the UK. It was, Smooya was the one wanting a boost. But anyway, it is retake again. Time to go back into this. But limited time now available. But Epsilon not really given much to work with. Jess up highway. You still have Maeve over by truck. So that's a big win here. That's the big point for them. As Cosmine going to find Jess, and it leaves Imi all on his lonesome. Near on impossible, and it is. Nice turn of events in the end for Maeve then to come through with that, considering that with Smooya dying in towards A main with the bomb then, that perfect flash timing. Whoever set up Charlie Pickles then, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, the other thing is, though, you can't really account for someone like Cosmine. Just steps up, gets himself 2 entry kills onto the site, takes down the player in main as well, and retrieves the bomb just in time to sort of give them a chance in the round. And that's what we were talking about sort of before this game. It's like, individually, we know that Epsilon have the players that at any moment could just steal away around. And it's got to be painful for Endpoint, and economy-wise, it definitely is. They're actually going to save here. I know they have a little bit of extra money left in the bank, so this is basically just waiting for the next round. And this triple man Z connector.
We know that Barbar likes to play mid-late. He'll work his way out towards white box. He'll fight towards A. I don't mind it. If you can get a rifle out of it, perfect. But you may be feeling there's a trap here. You can see the hesitation, the caution. And Barbar's really having a performance so far this weekend. He's the one who's been a bit of a headliner for me. So he waits to see if anyone's going to come out of connector. And there are 3 players there. He has no idea of that, obviously, but this will certainly help the A hit as it comes in. Smoke goes up. Molly's going. Cosmine again towards Mighty Max, but Cosmine's the only one really out so far. There's no other support here. They're still in by main. There's 4 plays from the CT side here. This could get a little problematic, but the spray's a little wild as well. Down to the pistol. Still deals with it well, but oh, this is lovely stuff. Finally handles it. Cryptic still trying to do work, but outnumbered, outgunned, and outdone.
I love that from Epsilon as well. They just go, okay, you go in. If you die, then we'll leave. And if not,
we might.
Well, then you've already won it for us, so it doesn't matter. So it just, like, obviously it's a risk of a rifle, but Cosmine seemed to be pretty comfortable no matter what anyway. Probably could have thrown the rifle away. He was doing just fine with the Glock. As said, though, this is pretty much just that save-up round to get a buy in this one. Still skimping a little bit. There's a UMP in play and utility missing on Cryptics, but they managed to spend all that extra cash on an AWP for Imi, who on the T side was doing very well, but we're yet to see a CT performance from him today.
Where is he right now? I don't think he's one of the B players, so I think he's in towards connector, maybe boosting above the smoke. Not too sure. No matter what, it will be probably down to Jesp and Cryptics to deal with that B hit coming through if it does eventually form. It does look so likely as they do already have Maeve out towards the vent. So 3 players here. They're not being too subtle about this Epsilon. They kind of want them to see it seems.
They've done a nice amount of early damage with the nades, but it's a quick trade onto the site. Flashbang again is absolutely perfect. Jesp allowed to get a freebie kill, but Smooya's quick to trade. From above, they have to be careful. Mighty Max manages to sneak a kill back, giving the man advantage over to the CT side. Now they're just going to wait for this retake. That's perfect for them. Just try and play off that man advantage, use the trades as well.
Epsilon are desperate for one player to show and then be able to find the kill, but maybe that doesn't expect the Pickles working around the back, and it's Smooya in the 1v3. Bomb is planted. He knows where one is, but now he needs to work out the rest. Charlie Pickles lays down the fire, and it just grabs his attention as Mighty Max pushes his way up, and the defuse will come through.
Yeah, no heroics this time. This time the bomb's actually on his side as well, so if anything, it was ready and set. I think you were almost building up to it, like, oh, I know it's coming, it's coming. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, Endpoint, good retake. Don't lose any more players to Smooya. They keep 3 people alive with that sort of force buy that they had.
Yep.
And now, well, there's 3 guns on the floor, I assume. I'm waiting to see what they are. I imagine one of them is going to be an AWP. And yeah, full buy coming in for Epsilon as well. So another crunch time round in terms of economy. Could be the difference for who actually takes the lead here for a moment or two. As said, both teams really on the brink with the amount of money they have.
I like the versatility from Charlie Pickles. Pushed up towards Forklift this time. He's been playing through on quad. He's been playing MBK. Bit of an A all-star. Uncomfortable though. Smooth seeming to already not predict this, but keep it in mind. And now he's pinned in a bit of a predicament. Tries to play out of it early, but there's a player up towards the catwalk too. The molly comes in. Be able to stay away from this, but he's just in one of those spots here that makes it a little bit uncomfortable. But Cosmine's playing well. He's allowing him out of this. That is brilliant from Cosmine. Plays off it well. Now Mighty Max, again, he's the one forced to make a move back here if they want to retain dominance, but oh, that's just awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, Cosmine just able to hide in the corner, and that's every single man over towards the A side of the map down. Now saving here could actually make a big difference, because they had 3 players alive in the previous round. Obviously they still had to invest a fair bit into this one. If they keep these 2 guns, there's at least a chance that the force buy wouldn't be anything too shabby. The problem is, T-side haven't even got the bomb down yet. They're already hunting. They're looking for these remaining kills. Quite risky, in fact. It's going to go back to a 2 versus 3. The round looking set in stone, but maybe there's a chance.
Maybe. It needs to be a quick kill here. Cosmine allowing that potential to happen. Starts just playing the time a little, just toying with them. Doesn't fully catch the flash and makes it away. Lovely little bit of movement and sets up his teammate well. And yeah, this is Jesp. You'd argue should just be looking to save at this point. Almost no chance to play into it. But trying to bait a gun away or 2, try and make it costly.
Yeah, remaining players looking to just exit on the other side. Even going to have a nade thrown towards him at the end. But now with the fallback, he has to be very careful because Smooya's waiting. No gun for Endpoint going into the next. And the patience working out. Was getting a little bit worried though, because they did almost start looking for the frags before they even got the bomb down, which at least they realized and fell back in the end. So it's going to be 11-11. As said, it was an economy crunch round, and if they had maybe the extra couple of rifles, we could have seen something here from Endpoint, but no saved weapons means that we're just going to see a flat eco, and Epsilon should be taking the lead here.
This could be a mid-take coming through from Epsilon. You can see the flash is already in. Plays over by Boost. Just decisive, quick. Freddy going to be spraying in towards those beat push-up players. No one really receiving much of the, I guess, sticky end of the rifle at this point, as they do make it away completely scot-free. Showing a little bit of presence, falling off it, but in the meantime, you've got Cosmine having a little walk through middle.
Yeah, he's woken up a little bit in the last few rounds. Another player. Well, I feel like it's with every player, but it can be very scary, although a little bit of sleep. Maybe 4-3 there, because doesn't spot the player behind him. That's a free rifle for Mighty Max to play with. Has to go for 1 taps, of course, because he doesn't have any armor behind it. A minute left on the clock. Freddy B will now find an opener over towards that B site, however, and they're just going to push off the basis of that. Leave it down to 2 players here. A little bit of a crossfire from above, and the AK is here. However, it doesn't last very long. Pickles somehow still alive on the site, but should be overwhelmed in a matter of seconds. And Cryptics get a kill, run away. That's the aim.
Not to be met. 4 alive is good, though, for Epsilon. It builds their money in the right direction, which they're going to need. They want to stabilize themselves. It has been a very back-and-forth game so far. Of course, we'll always hinder the CT side far more when it's that sort of case, but even for them, get the money up, get another AWP into play, hopefully, for them. Not a big game from that man on the screen just yet. We're seeing a little bit of, Cosmine coming in, who was very quiet last week. He didn't have a big performance. He was fine, no taking away, but he was the guy at the forefront. Quick B pressure this time between Maeve and Smooya. No one really wanting to fight this early. I think on the other side, it's just going to be Cryptics, probably just trying to play it relatively safe. He does have Jesp there in towards middle, who can quickly play through those vents if required. But the bomb's not here. That'll be down to the likes of Imi to control, even though they are putting down a lot of work. They're throwing a bit of a fake here. Good work from Cryptics. A quick shot from Smooya, though, going to keep this one in check. And Epsilon have actually won out almost on B, but it's Imi who can stop all of this.
Yeah, the fake, it doesn't matter. Goes for the no-scope. Cosmine will finish off Imi, and Mighty Max is just sort of left in no man's land. Bang in the middle. Players coming in from both angles. Does manage to finish off Smooya at least, so that's an AWP dropped, which is not going to be retrieved. So that's something at least, making it a little bit more costly, but it's coming down to the end of the game where those sort of small victories don't matter as much anymore, especially with the amount of money we've already seen Epsilon build back up. The other thing there as well is Freddy B, I think, goes for a solo push in middle and wins both duels. So we didn't see it, but that, again, you sort of think, okay, we know this guy's crazy talented, but please make it only be one so that you have a chance.
Well, the problem is it looked like they won on every single front. You had that B push pretty much working out. Apart from the first player who went down, the trade was there perfectly for Smooya, so he was fine. He won that. He drew players over. You had middle being one, and then it was down to Imi. It's like if Imi doesn't do something crazy and find, 2-3 players, you're kind of done for, which is almost, it's too much to ask. You can maybe expect him to get 1, maybe 2, but in that sort of spot, you've got to always expect to be traded out eventually. You can't keep backing away from it. So timeout comes in. I'm hoping it's from Endpoint just to get themselves back in the game mentally, just to readjust, refocus, and try and find an answer to what's been going wrong as of late. Because they had a control on this game at the start, but it seems to have spiraled a little bit here.
Yeah, the other thing as well is they don't really have that economy battle to go either way anymore. They've started to string rounds together on Epsilon. It seems like multiple different players have started to step up. Now, it is a tactical timeout, so we are going to have a little bit of a talk. And, of course, been told that the coach has piles and piles of notes to go to, so maybe this can be where they step up. The problem is a lot of the time that's more helpful on the T side. So them on their CT side having all these strats, unless they're going to throw out some aggression, which we've only really seen them do in pistol rounds, and maybe try and go for an aggressive B push. Take the fight to somebody, because that's the one thing that you do have to say is Freddy B, when he just lurks around that B site, he's getting so much control. He's up towards vents within the first 20 seconds of the round, which very easy to counter if you can kill him, which is not so easy to do.
I honestly would love some CT-sided aggression. The problem is, as said, their money's so weak. They can lightly invest into this, down to, you don't even want to buy that much. A couple of upgraded pistols, maybe a flash or two, but it's still going to leave you slightly worse for wear, even in the buy round coming in. And on the other side, of course, Epsilon's sitting pretty nicely now. Stacked towards middle again. We saw them going for this before. Smooth could be on the receiving end. It was Barbar kind of, considering it last time. As soon as he spotted that player on towards white box, he played off it well. But you can see this is the whole plan. Smooth's going to be completely blind. Wave always goes down. And this is very problematic. Nice piece from Endpoint here. It's all a bit of a set plan to make the money.
Epsilon, in the meantime, just ran all the way through B. Bomb going to be able to rotate in. Pickle's actually in a very strong position here. If he can duck back in through the vents, Imi's got to be careful. Barber coming around from behind. And leaves Pickles. If there was any time to have a heroic play, this would be it. Get them back into this one. They've dropped 3 players already with a pistol strat, so that's a decent amount of damage, but it doesn't matter. Barber still going strong. Still came a little bit close. I do like how they reacted, though. They went, okay, we know there's this many players in middle, and just ran straight through B, took the control, and then basically set up for the plant. Smart stuff from Epsilon. But I do like the setup coming out from the CT side as well.
Yeah, no, the difference of a good flash and, you know, good bit of timing can make towards middle as soon as they got contact, flash out on it. Brilliant. It got 2 rifles away from Epsilon, and that could have been a difference maker here. And now they've got double AWPs up on Endpoint. This is their big stand. This is their big go-to. They actually looked a little bit more lively when it was Inferno. Maybe you can see the response here coming out from Epsilon. Just a quick, fast A-hit, outdo the orbs, get past them, don't allow them to get into the game. And an uncharacteristic miss there from Imi, but Mighty Max picks up the pieces, finding Freddy B. The flashes come out, and they're just going to go for this. Bomb to be planted soon enough, I can imagine. And there it is, retake time, but Smoothie with the angle going to deny Jesp, and it's 3 players trying to play back into this.
Cryptic's actually picking up the AWP for the retake. Interested to see what he can do here. Obviously needs to find a pick along the way. Imi getting very close, maybe able to spot someone out. It's fairly passive. Shot goes through, missed, but doesn't matter in the end. He goes down to just Mighty Max. He's already got himself 3, but it's not going to be enough. Maeve finishes 15 to 11, and that was the big buy. That was the big investment. Now they've got to go with scraps.
Yeah, that was their big go-to. And you could see when the timeout comes in like that, and we saw the double ops before in Inferno, it seems like something that Endpoint like to go to as a response to, oh, we're down, we're not feeling so good about this. We've got the money for it, let's go for it. And you could see instantly, Epsilon read that. They were aware they went for that quick A hit, overwhelm them, don't allow them to get picked apart. It's just a nice answer. It's nothing flashy, it's nothing, you know, new, it's not going to change the world, but it's certainly gotten the round. So a weaker buy now comes in for Endpoint, so they need to make this count, and already Cosmine going to take off heads. Charlie Pickles, if anything, he's been an impact player for this side, and now it's all falling apart. Epsilon taking this round by the reins and just dragging it through. I think Endpoint have reached their end here.
Yeah, 1 man left. Jesp 1v4. Have to be very impressive. Bob already knows where he is. The bomb's rotating just as a sort of safety measure in case somehow he manages to take down the remaining players. They're just holding him in here. Simple stuff. Epsilon win it out over on the T side. Can't say I'm overly surprised. It's a little bit disappointing that after an okay start, everything just seemed to fall apart. Once the money got rolling as well for the T side, it didn't really look like anything was stopping them, and sort of a resurgence from Cosmine as well. He really was a massively impactful player on that second map.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that side of Cosmine in a while. Being overshadowed by Barbar, Freddy B, Smooth, you know, you pick anyone from that roster, they've been doing well, but we saw what he can bring today to this lineup. And yeah, as said, Cash was a little closer, far more competitive, but at the end of the day, it wasn't... I wanted it a little bit more than that, if I'm honest. I wanted the gun rounds to be competitive. I wanted to see how far we could have maybe seen Endpoint push it, but it is what it is. It's the 2-0 that Epsilon, I can imagine, we're looking for quite desperately at this point. But that's enough from us. Let's hear it from the analysis desk to break that one down.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Tom Biz. Great little match there. A lot closer than map 1 in Inferno with Cash. The guys are just celebrating. Little hugs there and here and there from Smear with Imi. Definitely, at the end of that one, you can say that Smear won the AWP battle against Imi. Listen, that was a much tighter map, but Epsilon have defeated Endpoint 16-11 to take the overall match 2-0. Don't go anywhere. We'll have analysis and reaction when we come back.